Coming up on Ag Week TV, we'll find out how the government shutdown is impacting farmers and ranchers.
I'll tell you about a special education program that came to North Dakota for the first time.
We'll look at the top issues at this year's South Dakota Corn Annual Meeting.
And farmer claims grow against a North Dakota grain trading company. Welcome to Ag Week TV. I'm Rose Dunn. The farm show season continues in the region, and our own Michelle Rook is on the road this week covering the South Dakota Corn Annual Meeting and the Sioux Falls Sioux Empire Farm Shows.
Rose, the shows are a unique combination of grain and livestock exhibits, plus shows and sales of various species and breeds. In fact, the Sioux Empire Farm Show is known for the quality of livestock it attracts from all over the country. The Sioux Falls Farm Show is held at the Premier Center and features more than 300 ag-related vendors. The top story continues to be the negative impact of the government shutdown. USDA announced FSA offices would temporarily be reopening, but agriculture is still being hurt. Speaking at the South Dakota Corn Annual Meeting, Senator John Thune said the shutdown is hurting farmers' ability to plan for 2019.
I've been through enough of these in the past, nobody wins. And certainly in this case, with a shutdown where you've got Department of Agriculture affected, EPA affected.
However, Senator Mike Round says EPA head Andrew Wheeler told him this won't create a hiccup for E15 approval for the summer driving season.
He said, as of right now, this does not put it in jeopardy, but if this continues on, it could, because he said he only has so many resources that are available, and at some point they will prohibit him from continuing with the rulemaking process.
The senators warn if the shutdown lasts too long, it will slow the ratification of the USMCA and Farm Bill implementation. U.S. Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue has announced FSA offices will be opening temporarily nationwide despite the lapse in federal funding. Starting January 24th and for 2 full weeks following, the offices will be open 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Staff will provide expanded services including work on direct and guaranteed loans, market facilitation program payments, existing CRP contracts, and more. The MFP sign-up deadline has also been extended from January 19th to February 14th, so this is good news for farmers.
Even just their checks that they've gotten from the sale barns and elevators, so they can get these loans or these checks co-signed so they can deposit their money and pay their bills.
If the shutdown continues after February 8th, FSA offices will be open Tuesday through Thursday. With the government closed, the USDA did not issue the January 11th supply and demand reports and has not been issuing weekly export numbers. That information is used by market participants to make decisions. However, some brokers are advising farmers to focus on their local market.
No one was going to sell their corn to Chicago or Washington, D.C. No one's delivering their wheat to Minneapolis, really. And so you have your local market. They're still open. Nothing's changed.
USDA is providing essential mandatory price reporting data for livestock, but wasn't able to do the kettle on feed or inventory report this week either. Joining us here from the South Dakota Corn Annual Meeting is President Troy Connect. And Troy, let's talk about resolutions and give us a little summary.
We got some new resolutions in the book dealing with livestock, dealing with ethanol, dealing with trade.
And when we look towards 2019, obviously E15 is going to be a big thing for you guys. Can we get it done here with the government shutdown in time to have it ready for the summer driving season?
Yeah, that's a good question. We don't know. Government doesn't move very quickly, we all know that, and they've got the shutdown. I think it kind of depends on how long the shutdown goes so they can do their job, and we're hopeful that happens because that means these retailers can sell the product that they want to sell, and that's E15, and I think there's probably double the number that are selling now that want to come on board and do it when they can. You know, it's like the numbers like 1,400 stations that would probably come on with E15 if they knew they could sell it year-round, so we need to get that done.
And Troy, talk about your agenda on trade.
Well, our trade resolutions basically dealt with the fact that, you know, we promote trade policy that does not involve retaliatory tariffs. And we know how important trade is to us in South Dakota. We're net exporters of our product, especially corn and soybeans, and it's had an effect.
And I know livestock development has been very important to South Dakota corn, so what things specifically will you be pushing this year?
Well, we want to make sure that counties are dealing with the folks that want to do things in their county fairly, so if you meet the requirements, that was one of the resolutions that was talked about this morning. If you meet the requirements in the county, we'd like to see the commission grant them livestock projects, and that doesn't always happen. So we want to make sure that people are welcoming these projects because it uses our corn here in state.
Thanks so much. That's Troy Connect, president of the South Dakota Corn Growers Association. I'll be back later in the show with more from the Sioux Falls and Sioux Empire farm shows. But when AgweekTV continues, we're back in the studio where Mikkel Pates updates the case against a young grain trader accused of defrauding farmers out of millions.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you with a wide variety of bin options and accessories, along with site planning and superior customer service. Plus, from top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with generations of experience and dependability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
Upgrade your trailer to electric with the Rolltech electric system from AgriCover. Strong, flexible pivot arms and motor mount rotate and telescope, allowing the roll tube to rise and flex over heaped loads. The positive automatic lock is impossible to back off to control the flow of grain. This integrated system uses one wireless remote to operate up to 10 tarps and hoppers, keeping your driver out of the dust, rain, and harm's way. See the Rolltech system in action at an AgriCover dealer near you.
Cattle ranchers choose us for our genetic excellence, our people-first approach to customer service, and our data-driven profitability. They say we were made for this. Come see for yourself. Join us for Top Hereford's Volume 19 production sale, February 8th at the ranch near Gray City, North Dakota. When you buy a Top Hereford's bull, you'll also get the added benefits of marketing your feeder cattle and replacement quality heifers direct. View the Volume 19 catalog at topherefords.com. Top Herefords, a common-sense approach to genetic excellence.
With the success of the Case IH Tiger Quad-Trac and Magnum Road-Trac tractors, it's no secret why Case IH is the leader of the track. So it wasn't surprising when the competition started imitating us. But only Case IH offers a 5-axle design to give you a smoother ride, more power to the ground, with less berming and compaction. Still, we're flattered. In fact, if we weren't already red, we'd be blushing.
Make sure your farm equipment is season ready with an uptime inspection from your Titan Machinery service professionals. Titan Machinery's team of Case IH factory-trained service technicians has the knowledge and experience to find, correct, and prevent mechanical issues that could shut you down during the season. Your planting and harvest windows are short. For genuine Case IH parts and service, schedule an off-season uptime inspection at Titan Machinery today. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH dealer.
As the investigation into a North Dakota grain dealer continues, it seems to be getting bigger. 21-year-old Hunter Hansen of Leeds, North Dakota, owned a company called Midwest Grain Trading. But last summer, it came to light that he'd been writing bad checks to farmers for grain he was buying. Now, several farmers are seeking payments, and he is facing criminal charges. Mikkel Pates has more.
In July, Roger Harstead got a call from East Central Grain Marketing, a broker he's done business with before. They had a grain buyer for some of Harstead's spring wheat.
It was probably 20 cents a bushel above anything locally, and they pick it up and deliver it. So I said, well, yeah, I'll sell some.
Harstead sold 17,000 bushels and got a check for $111,000. But a few weeks later, his bank called and said the check wasn't good. What Harstead would come to learn is that several other farmers were in the same boat.
I told my dad, I said, I think this sets you back about 2 years, basically. And I got friends that it set them back more than that.
Do you think anybody will lose their farm over this?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and
more than one person, I believe.
Harstead is among a handful of farmers who are formally pursuing payment on their own. Mountrail County is pursuing criminal charges based on non-sufficient fund checks to some elevators. Harstead has heard from farmers who may be owed anywhere from $10,000 to $200,000.
We have issued a cease and desist order, and that does carry legal consequences if that is violated. He can't buy grain, he can't sell grain, and from the date when we declared this, if there are any accounts receivable out there that pay him, that money that needs to be held onto.
The North Dakota Public Service Commission has received calls totaling $5 million in troubled transactions. Hansen was bonded, but if proven, the claims would quickly exceed the bond limits.
But the bonds are just typically never enough to really solve the problems that some of the ag producers might end up having.
Chrisman says it may be time to look at increasing bond levels or broadening the state indemnity fund.
The next part of it is cleaning up the mess and trying to do what you can to make these ag producers whole or as close to whole as possible.
This is Mikkel Pates in Western North Dakota for Ag Week.
Hansen has denied wrongdoing in the Harstead case. Mikkel will have much more on this story in the next Ag Week magazine. With the current uncertainty about trade and its effect on soybeans and some other crops, it's predicted wheat acres will be up this year. To help farmers maximize yields and profits, the High Plains Journal, Ag Week, and BASF brought an opportunity to educate growers at the first Wheat U. Jenny Schlecht has more.
With more farmers looking at including wheat in their rotations this year, it was only natural for High Plains Journal to bring Wheat U to North Dakota for the first time.
We're one of the biggest producers in the nation, and the other aspect to this is you see a lot of collaboration, a lot of hallway conversations here. It's not just the Extension Service, we have industry really represented well here, we have growers, we have the North Dakota Wheat Commission.
For new wheat growers, or those who haven't grown it for several years, some of the biggest concerns are controlling diseases and weeds. Extension weed specialist Tom Peters says weed problems aren't as challenging with wheat.
We plant wheat early, and it competes very well with weeds, partially because we plant wheat in narrow rows, and it grows quickly in the early spring climate.
Growers at the event liked the specialized education.
There's a lot smaller margin of error now in farming. So coming to events like this and learning things, even if it's a little thing, like today I learned the difference between staging wheat at flowering. You know, something small, but if I can maybe make a better timed fungicide application during flowering, you know, that could add up to $10, $20 an acre easily.
You have to be on top of every aspect of the grain, the production side of it, the political, everything.
In Bismarck, this is Jenny Schlecht for Ag Week.
North Dakota ranks second in the nation in wheat production, behind Kansas. Still ahead, it's back to Michelle in South Dakota. She talked to experts about what life will look like for farmers after the trade war. And later, we'll give you an inside look at how ethanol is made.
How can one tillage tool handle most field conditions, residue types, and tillage practices? It takes a Renegade, the Summers VRT Renegade. Switch from vertical to aggressive tillage and anywhere in between. Adjust blade angles, tillage depth, and more on the go, all from an iPad. Get the tillage results you want, like only the Summers VRT Renegade can. For more information or a demo, contact your Summers dealer.
At Kenner Simmental Ranch, we've been offering precision genetics and exceptional customer service in the beef industry for more than 40 years. From power bulls to calving ease bulls, our balanced EPDs and performance produce docility that truly satisfies our producers and consumers. Come see for yourself on February 9th at the Kenner Ranch for our annual production sale. We'll be offering 129 black and red, Simmental and Sim Angus and Red Angus bulls, plus 65 red heifers. Kenner Simmentals, the best in beef from pasture to plate.
With the all-new GreenFit system from Ricard, plug and play is finally a reality when using John Deere AutoTrac guidance with existing new products like the Challenger 1000 series or all-new C-Series row gators from Butler Machinery. GreenFit is an authorized navigation interface that utilizes the existing John Deere AutoTrac guidance system to steer most Challenger tractors and sprayers. GreenFit eliminates the worry of learning and converting to a new steering system when buying an industry-leading Challenger from Butler Machinery. Learn more about GreenFit at butlermachinery.com.
This is Dennis Beliski reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
For corn and soybean farmers, it's been a challenging year. So join us as we look towards the future and make sense of international trade at the 2nd Annual Northern Corn and Soybean Expo, featuring speakers Mark Mayfield and Chip Flory, with breakout sessions, free breakfast, lunch, and a large corn and soybean trade show. You don't want to miss the 2nd Annual Corn and Soybean Expo, Tuesday, February 12th at the Fargo Dome.
I'm Michelle Rook, back at the Sioux Falls Sioux Empire Farm Shows. And in fact, the livestock shows and sales here rival the Denver and Black Hill stock shows.
It does, and you know, every show has the same mission, and that's to promote the agricultural industry and to highlight some genetics whenever it comes to different cattlemen or whichever species it is. We're just highlighting what everyone has going on in terms of their operation.
With the quality of livestock, the show brings buyers and sellers in from the region and across the country. Farmers and industry spent years building the infrastructure to be able to export their product through the Pacific Northwest to China to take advantage of their close proximity and to improve basis levels. So what happens with China after the trade war ends? That was the focus of an expert panel at the South Dakota Corn Annual Meeting this last weekend. What will life after the trade war look like for U.S. farmers? Jason Hofer of Gavilan says it's too early to tell and depends on how much long-term demand destruction has been done with China and other customers.
How we come out of that and do we alienate anyone? It's to be determined, but hopefully that doesn't happen and we can continue to grow these markets.
Floyd Gabler with the U.S. Grains Council says they're cautiously optimistic about recent trade developments with China and approval of 5 biotech traits.
That is a good sign, at least as a possible indication that we may be able to sell some of our products into that market.
With China out of the U.S. soybean market in 2018, business in the Pacific Northwest shifted to corn and wheat. However, Greg Guthrie with BNSF is confident they can switch back if a deal is struck.
I don't think there's any real issue. We're still substantially below the levels that we've already proven that can be handled very effectively off the West Coast.
He thinks the China agreement also brings huge opportunities for U.S. corn, wheat, ethanol, and DDGs, much of which will go out of the PNW due to the large infrastructure investments made by the industry. Up next, we'll have your agri-weather outlook.
Weather portion of Ag Week. Now, obviously, it's been frigid across much of the northern plains, upper Midwest. Arctic cold has visited the region. Changes are coming as we get into February. Maybe not necessarily February 1st, but it will be turning a little bit milder. We've also been getting a sequence of Alberta clippers, which has brought some significant snowfall. It's dry, airy snow, but it's been accumulating. But as I said, the month of February will be a little kinder to the northern plains. Basically, Arctic air dropping down into the Hudson Bay region has sent frigid weather into the upper Midwest northern plains. And it's been interesting in the Dakotas because of the position of the jet. It's been much colder in eastern Dakotas than it has been in the western portion of the Dakotas because of this ridge in the jet over the west. As we go through the week, it's going to stay cold from the Dakotas across the upper Midwest, but it will relax a little bit. Not a lot of heat anywhere in the eastern United States. Then as we get into next week, there's a significant change that will start happening. The southern branch of the jet looks like it's going to start picking up some energy once again, and that will cause the frigid air to really retreat. We may still get another clipper or two, and it's not like it's going to be hot weather, but it will be warming up. As far as precip goes, snowstorm in the upper Midwest northern plains the early part of the week, turning into a rain system for the eastern seaboard with snow only on the interior side. Then things are looking relatively dry across the United States as the southern branch of the jet stream gets reestablished, though next week there will be a bit of an increase in moisture again, some southern stream rains, maybe one more clipper system, but overall northern plains moisture should begin to start winding down while we start seeing a more active southern branch of the jet stream. Note the shape of this ridge out west, that doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon.
When harvest comes around, time is precious and you don't have a moment to waste. North Star Ag offers the Lofness GrainLogix Grain Bag Loader to deliver versatile grain storage performance load after load. Lofness's user-friendly grain baggers are easy to load and unload, perfect to get your harvest in the bag. North Star Ag also sells a variety of Valmar spreaders, the leader in air boom delivery, and is a full-service Meridian hopper bin dealer. Visit NorthstarAg.com to see our complete new and used equipment inventory or give us a call.
Steffes. We have representatives everywhere. Through North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota, we can find a buyer for what you are selling. We know how to market your farmland or equipment. Give us a call. We'll sit down and tell you all about the Steffes way.
Nothing holds more promise than a seed. And when it comes from Peterson Farm Seed, it's backed with a promise from us. We will sell no seed we wouldn't be happy to plant on our own farm, so that growers like Pete can keep a promise of his own, to build a profitable business with his kids, and give them the opportunity to one day do the same with theirs. Grow your promise. Grow Peterson Farm Seed.
DTE is your headquarters for flatbeds and service bodies for your truck. Whether you need to haul bales, heavy commercial equipment, or take every tool with you, DTE has the truck equipment you need. We have over 200 units on hand, or will custom build a flatbed or service body on your truck.
Like this Dewey's bale bed with dual lift cylinder arms. Lift, load, and handle your bales with ease.
When you need help at the farm, your business, or in the oil patch, count on DTE. DTE, let us build a truck for you.
The KMOT Ag Expo takes place January 30th through February 1st at the North Dakota State Fair Center in Minot. Ag Week is proud to be a part of this outstanding agricultural showcase. From exhibits to informational seminars and so much more, you'll find it all. Be sure to visit the Ag Week booth in the North Concourse. Log on to KMOTAgExpo.com for more information. Ag Week welcomes you to the KMOT Ag Expo January 30th through February 1st in Minot.
This segment of AgweekTV brought to you by the North Dakota Corn Utilization Council and the North Dakota Ethanol Council. An ethanol plant is a market for corn, but it's also a source of high-quality livestock feed. Agweek's Mikkel Pates recently toured the Dakota Spirit plant at the Spiritwood Industrial Park. It opened in 2015 and is the newest plant in the region.
Ethanol is buying its place in the world marketplace.
The Blue Flint and Dakota Spirit plants, owned by Midwest Ag Energy, produce about 75 million gallons of ethanol a year.
That'll grind about 25 million bushels of corn through this facility.
So, how is ethanol made? First, corn is trucked to the plant. Most of it is grown within 40 miles.
We'll pull a sample of it, grade it, check the moisture on it, and determine where we want to send it.
And then it's run through a hammer mill and ground into flour. That's mixed with enzymes and water to form a slurry. It's heated, which breaks down the starch into simple sugars.
Fermentation, we've got 5 fermenters. So that's what you see behind us here. Each of them is about 730,000 gallons each.
The fermenting process takes almost 60 hours.
So after that time period, you've got about a 15% by volume alcohol mixture, which will pump into distillation.
Distillation separates the 190 proof alcohol out of the mixture. It is sent to refineries to be blended into fuel. Also separated out is wet cake, which is dried into animal feed. That's a large part of their business.
It can go anywhere really in the world, but probably most of it gets used domestically in confined animal feeding operations.
Ethanol production now outpaces demand by 1.5 billion gallons a year, so exporting around the world has been a boon. They even sell to oil-rich places like the United Arab Emirates.
In a lot of countries, the value of ethanol as an octane enhancement is by far the lowest cost option.
The industry is heartened by President Trump's support of E15. Dunlop says it would save consumers 10 to 15 cents a gallon and would be a big boost to ethanol and ag producers.
We think that can build demand long term in the country and help both those in the ethanol production industry, but also very importantly those in the ag producing community, as they'd have more outlet for their product.
In Spiritwood, North Dakota, this is Mikkel Pates for Ag Week.
About 90 people work at the 2 Midwest Ag Energy plants. Still ahead on AgweekTV, we'll see what's new in precision ag.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries West Steel's quality stainless steel products for on-farm and commercial grain storage solutions. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Get a hold of Chad Kylo to find the perfect solution for your farm.
Get ready for the biological revolution. AgZyme by Ag Concepts is the leading biological soil enhancement product on the market today. AgZyme improves soil health and fertilizer efficiency for healthier crops and better yields.
Definitely is making a difference. I really feel that it gives me a bump in the soybeans and corn. I would say 55 up to 70 bushel soybeans. We even had as high as 75. Probably the best bang for your buck.
Join the biological revolution with AgZyme by Ag Concepts.
United Lease and Finance has been doing business since 1987, a full-service lease company handling lease transactions from inception to close. United Lease and Finance understands the needs of their clients and are familiar with the business they work with. With leasing, you get flexible payment plans, improved cash flow, great rates, easy terms, and leasing does not tie up your credit. Contact Roger, Troy, or Dale today and let them show you how you can lower your cost per acre at 1-800-550-1827.
When the water's high and your yields are low, 'cause your fields have no place for water to flow, just one call takes care of it all. Call on Field Drainage Incorporated. Call on Field Drainage Incorporated. Call on Field Drainage.
Technology has changed agriculture in many ways, but the challenge continues to be making it useful enough for farmers to want to use it. That was the main message at the annual Precision Ag Summit in Jamestown. While there's been a lot of progress in the area of efficiency technologies like GPS and automatic steering, Speaker Paul Schrimpf says those technologies were easy to adopt, but he says the current crop of data management technologies are harder to adapt to. So he says tech businesses need to take it one farmer at a time, since every farm is different.
And we have to understand that these are the difficulties of these technologies, and make sure that we understand what growers are going through, and that we give them the time to test these technologies, see what really works, and possibly adapt them.
The speakers emphasized that technology has to solve a problem for it to be useful. Thanks for watching this week's edition of Ag Week TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or download the Ag Week app. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. We'll see you next week.